Hey everyone, Bob here, Overland Citrus. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to do this week's video a little bit different. We're not traveling anywhere. The next gig we have is February 16th, 17th, and 18th. It's Peace, Love, and Vans. It's in Dade City, Florida. I heard it's sold out and something like 1,200 vans going to be there. So it's going to be a big event. But, you know, at the last event I went to, it seems everybody's talking about how to stay cool, run your AC, rooftop AC, and not drain your lithium or run out and not be able to sleep cool. That was a big topic of a lot of people that I met and talked to at the last run. And if anybody watched my last video, that's why I came home. Because I didn't have enough lithium, I couldn't run my generator at that particular event, and it was just too warm. And as everybody knows from that video, I'm not going to sleep under those conditions, especially if I'm 2 hours away from home. I'm coming home. So I called the factory where this 4x4 Sprinter build-out was built, and mine is a Thor Sanctuary 19L. I have just about 500 amp hours of lithium. And I really wanted to know what to scoop, because everybody seems to tell a different story. And if you talk to any salesperson at any RV place, they're going to tell you lies. Maybe not lies, but they're going to say, oh yeah, that lithium will run. It'll go anywhere. You can use your AC. You can do anything you want. It's not true. Now, unless you have 1,200 amp hours or more of lithium, you cannot run your AC all night long, your rooftop AC. It's just not going to happen. So I checked into it. My particular system, to upgrade it and double my lithium size, we're looking at like $17,000. That's crazy. That's really crazy. I'm not going to do that. I'm definitely not going to do that. So I did talk to a very, very smart technician at the factory. He spent a lot of time with me and set a lot of stuff straight. So basically, I'm just going to tell you what I know. It might not work for you guys. It might not even have to do with your particular vehicle, but it does with mine, and I hope that what I'm going to tell you helps you out. So your rooftop AC, with your inverter on, put the AC on auto so that it shuts on and off the compressor. Even if the fan stays on, it doesn't matter. It's the compressor that draws. You're drawing 1,200 amps. 1,200 watts, 1,200 watts of power. So if you have 500 amp hours, if you convert that, that's going to be about 100 amps it's drawing in DC. So 1,200 watts AC, 100 amps DC. So if you have 500 amps of lithium power, 500 amp hours, you're going to run basically, say, 4.5 hours or 4, because you don't want to run your batteries dead. So, you know, my vehicle gives me a warning at 40%. At 20%, what will happen, and I'm sure it happens with everyone's vehicle, at 20%, it will disconnect from my alternators. So that means if I run my battery system to 20%, even if I start the van, it will not charge from the second alternator, which is just about a 200 amp second alternator. You have to plug in is the only way to charge it if you run below 20%. So there's a couple ways that you can solve that. And if you run your batteries down to 0, at least on my system, 0 is not really 0. What you're seeing on your gauge is 0%, if you ever get there. That's not true 0. True 0 would be past that, completely dead. If you kill your lithiums completely dead, most of them will go into a reset mode and they won't charge. You have to call the factory for the batteries that you have, and they can remotely restart your battery and reset it. So you never want to mess with that 0%. So a couple things you can do. One, I have a small, I call it a suitcase generator. Excuse me, I have an itch. It's 4,000 watts. It holds 1 gallon of fuel. It's like a little Yamaha or a Honda quiet running generator. It's got a 30 amp plug on it, and I can plug that in. It'll run about 5 hours on 1 tank of fuel. So if you're somewhere where you can run your generator, you can run your generator plugged into your RV or your Sprinter van and run your AC till it runs out of gas. When it runs out of gas, it's just going to shut off. The AC is going to shut off. At that point, if for some reason you're sleeping and you wake up and you're warm, you get warm, you can get up, turn your inverter on, crank your AC on your lithium, and run another 4 or 5 hours if you're in that 500 amp range like I am. And that would give you 7 or 8 or 9 hours worth of running power. Now, the technician told me the other thing to do, he says, is you can run the van. And that's what Tammy tells me all the time. She says, just run the van. So I came right out and asked the technician, can you idle your van? He said, you have a diesel Mercedes Sprinter? I said, yes. He said, you can run the van. They're designed for that. They're delivery vans. They start at 7 in the morning, and they idle and run all day long and do it day in and day out for years. So he said, my second alternator, which is almost 200 amps, at an idle puts out 90 amps. So the AC converted, as we spoke about, is drawing 100. So I am depleting my lithium batteries, is making up for that little bit of difference with the van at an idle. But every time that the AC shuts off in auto, which is probably about every 10 minutes what happens to mine, it will bring the van to temperature and shut down, you're actually gaining. Because for those 5 or 10 minutes that your roof AC is off, your 90 amps is still charging, so you're kind of never really going to run down enough that you're going to be in trouble. So that's an option. Run the van, man. He said just run it. Start it. Run it all night long. Just let the vehicle run. And you can run your factory dash air, it's already running at the same time, and keep the van even cooler. So that's the real option that you could go through and do too. So there's many different ways, and again, your van might have more lithium power than mine. It could have a few different things, but I did learn a lot by talking to this technician on how the whole lithium system really works and what it really is putting out. Now, when you're driving down the road, that extra alternator, if you have one, the second alternator, is putting out whatever it is made for, 170, 180, 190 amps. I have 190 amps. I'm pretty sure that's what he told me. Don't quote me on it. And none of these figures and numbers are exact, but they're close. 190. So I'm pushing 190 amps. So if I'm driving down the road and it's really warm and I need my secondary air conditioning on, it's basically never going to run down the battery because I'm charging a lot. We're putting out, say, 190 amps. But your regulator only lets so much go to the lithium batteries. It's just going to continually keep them charged. It's not going to let you pump 190 amps into your lithium batteries. It might be pumping 90 or 100 amps at a time, but it's continual. So I find with the Mercedes chassis, the air conditioning and heat, dash air and heat, works so well that I've never run it on high, and I live in Florida. And it cools the whole entire van. I'm pretty sure that I could run the van, turn the dash AC on high, and sleep all night without even running the secondary air conditioner. So I do a lot of idle time living here in Florida. Like I'm in the driveway right now. As you can see, I'm in my van. It's running, it's idling. I idle it a lot. If I bring in Tammy around and go and she's running in and out of stores and I stay in the van and I'm working because I work remotely, I idle it. I let it run. I run. It's under warranty. Let it run. Run. 5-year warranty on the motor train. Let it run. Run, 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 run. That's what these vans are made to do. If you have a diesel Mercedes. Remember, they are delivery vans. They use them under harsh conditions all over the world. Warm, hot, cold. They fire them up in the AM. The delivery drivers, you know, are definitely not easy on them. Stop and go all day long. Never shut it off. Maybe 10 or 12 hour day. And then the next day, do it again. And who knows, 7 days a week for years until, 200,000-300,000 miles. So don't worry if you have a built out Sprinter van, Mercedes Sprinter van. Just run it. That's what it's made for. It's going to be fine. You have a carbon dioxide sensor in your van, hopefully. You're not going to die of fumes. The exhaust is blowing out. All your windows are shut. There's no way the exhaust fumes are coming inside the van. And if they do, you got a sensor that's going to go off. And I don't know what to tell you about your neighbors. If they're parked close and they don't want to hear your van run, well, hey, I don't know what to tell you. And we're all here and we're trying to be happy. So I don't know. If you're in your van and you have your air conditioner on, there's no way that you can hear the van 10 feet from you or 15 feet from you running if you're at an event like that. If you're at a van run, you're parked pretty close. Just start it and run it and stay cool. So that's today's video. I know it's nothing great, fancy. I hope what I've learned I passed on to all of my viewers, and maybe you guys have some comments, or you can write in the comment section things that you might know that I wasn't told or I didn't know. And just remember, I'm not a professional. I don't know much about the lithium systems. I'm by far not a mechanic. I'm like a backyard mechanic. I could take something off and put it back on. So these are not perfect facts. The numbers might be off a little bit. I did quick calculation with a converter to get the amperage down to wattage. I'm pretty sure I'm close. So I did the best I could. And again, I hope this helps you. And thank you for watching this if you did. If you already a subscriber, thank you. If you're not, please hit subscribe. Everybody hit the bell so that when we get a new video out, you'll hear it. And until next week, we're going to do probably another, we got a little project going on with the van, and we're going to show you what that is. Because remember, our next adventure is not till February 17th. So if you're out there and you're traveling, drive safe, camp safe, peace out, and we'll see you next time.